Welcome to Nerdarchy, for nerds, by nerds. I'm Nerdarchy Steve, and as usual, hang out with this nerd.
Nerdarchy Ted.
If you like conversations about D&D, make sure you cast fist at that subscribe button.
And if you like the Nerdarchy discussions, why not muscle your way over to that notification bell so you don't miss a single video.
You might have noticed this video is a little bit of a different format than we're normally doing because we are social distancing. Ted's over there, I'm over here, so we're recording these videos digitally, or I should say remotely. But at some point, all this craziness in the world will end and we'll go back to our normal way of filming videos. Until then, we're just trying to stay safe, and hopefully you are doing the same. With that, let us jump into our normal content. As usual, we do have a sponsor for this video.
That sponsor is going to be Dungeon Fog and the Circle of World Builders. On Saturday, May 30th and Sunday, May 31st, the Circle of World Builders is a new initiative from World Anvil. Dungeon Fog, Great GM, Kaora launched their first Game Masters Workshop.
In this 2-day online event, experts in their fields walk game masters of all abilities through how to create an intriguing campaign plan, build an exciting campaign setting, and create the most engaging encounters ever. And also, Nerdarchy is going to be taking part of it. It's going to be free. It's going on for 2 days. You can jump down to the description and you'll find a link there to get more information or sign up for a notification so you know when it's happening. You're going to want to check this out.
All right, so without further ado, let's dive on in to this Muscle Mage.
All right, so there are like two versions of the Muscle Mage, right? First of all, the Muscle Mage has been around for as long as I can remember. I mean, it was really like 3rd edition when I was doing stuff online for D&D, and we would have seen the first whispers of the concept of the Muscle Mage. So first off, we have the joke variant, and this has come up at our table plenty of times. It's usually a half-orc, and they claim to be a wizard. They even have a spell book, quote-unquote spell book. And, you know, in our version, they will do things like cast a spell and whack you with their spell book. I've even seen, people talk about the same character that carries around a sack of rocks with the words magic missiles scrawled upon them, and when they cast their magic missile, they will just throw rocks at their enemies, and carrying all kinds of weird stuff that they would use to just hit people with and scream the name of a spell as they do such.
It's hilarious. It is fun. It's if you're gonna do a nice one shot that's lighthearted, this is a great character to play. But you can also do the Muscle Mage in a serious tone. And how would we go about doing that there, Dave?
Honestly, there's a bunch of different combinations, and really that is essentially you want to create a melee caster. There's different ways you can do it. You could do wizard or sorcerer for your arcane caster, and then mix it with fighter, paladin, monk, any of those things that are going to allow you to punch and do interesting things. I feel like if you're not playing a monk, tavern brawler is a must to make this even more effective. We've even gone through and looked at some ways to kind of spruce it up a bit, but really I think we're looking at either sorcerer or wizard, either one works, and 2 levels of paladin, so that when you cast fist, basically you expend spell slots and you essentially just smite for a lot of damage. Now, +1.
If we're going to wind up going down that road, you'll also have to take into account that the paladin can only sack out certain levels of spells. So some might decide that you could go down the road of sorcerer instead of wizard, because those higher level spells you could sack out for points and convert them into other spell slots that you could be able to cast fist with. But that enters into the argument of, is the Muscle Mage supposed to be a wizard, not a sorcerer?
That is the age-old discussion. But yeah, that would give you much more lower level spells if you were to do that, so that you can stack them up. Because I believe you max out at 4th level spell slots, and then you're kind of done. But then there's also some like higher level spells, and there's also some spells where you might actually need, or abilities for that matter, where you actually might need a weapon to enact them on. So our workaround to this was the idea of having brass knuckles, right? And there had been a tweet at the Wizards team, and Chris Perkins happened to answer it for Sage Advice. How much damage does brass knuckles do? Also, how much would it take to buy or make them? Chris Perkins actually responded, my guess, comparable to a club in effect and to a dagger in price. So, one, it might be a way to up the damage of your punch by a little bit, but now it is technically a weapon. So anything that will require a weapon to enact upon, you would now be able to use. And I don't think we're distorting our muscle mage by too much by giving them some brass knuckles, knuckle dusters, as opposed to just bare knuckling it.
So going with brass knuckles or, like a gauntlet, you are still punching, and, that brass knuckles are going to be comparable to that club. So that does fit, so the brass knuckles are going to be comparable to Tavern Brawler or, a low-level monk's, martial arts die. So you definitely have the ability to, get that in there somehow. And it's going to, very much fit with that idea that you are punching. And for those spells that you need a weapon, that is a great workaround. You've got a lot of things to work with. But there are a number of other spells that I think, will wind up, working to the Muscle Mage's advantage.
Well, before we even get into that, maybe we should talk about subclasses a little bit for our Muscle Mage and which ones are going to kind of be more effective. So, like, immediately, the one that pops to my mind, if you're going Wizard, is Abjuration, because that's going to make you a little bit more tougher and be able to not only give a punch but take one.
Now, if you're looking at, some of your other classes, I don't think that anything is more of a Muscle Mage if you're going fighter than champion. Their superior athlete ability definitely fits in well with this concept. And, if you're going to do the holier than thou paladin, I think Vengeance is going to give you a little bit more bang for your buck or a little bit more punch, for your damage.
Yeah, well, I don't even think you'd take that many levels in Paladin. I think you'd stop at 2, get Smite, and be done. You're going to have like 1 level of spell casting from your Paladin. You have Smite, so this way you're really good at casting Fist. And then it's going to be like all Wizard from there, or even I might even consider circling back to something like Champion. Instead of taking more levels in that. Also, War Wizard's another one that's kind of might be an interesting choice for your bare knuckle fighter. I mean, it definitely thematically fits with that type, and you also will get some cool advantages that'll help you in combat. But what about like Sorcerer?
So with Sorcerer, I think if you're going to go down that road where you are looking to punch, then I don't think there's anything that's going to be better than Draconic, because it's going to give you those extra hit points and, potentially the armor class if you're not wearing armor. So that's the direction I would wind up going. What do you think?
You know what? I think that's a great way to go. And I don't think I'd really look much further than that, because it's going to give you the extra tankiness. And it seems like a good fit, for someone that wants to cast Fist. And you can also Fist from above, because eventually you get those sweet, sweet wings that you can have as well.
Yeah, that's what we call dive, man.
Yeah, but Muscle Mage himself never takes a dive.
No. It's like a dive attack, man.
Dive bomb.
Dive bomb. There you go.
So there's a couple cantrips that might come in pretty handy for our Muscle Mage. These will probably definitely require us to use those brass knuckles.
So you've got Booming Blade, or what the Muscle Mage might refer to as Thunder Punch, or Green Flame Blade, or Fists of Fire.
Now, there's also a bunch of spells that we are talking about as well, and we definitely have absorb elements, fuel my cast Fist. Great spell. You can stop as a reaction an energy type that's coming at you. And then when you attack, you can then return part of that damage to those who just attacked you with it.
You know, you've got Blink, which is obviously your rope-a-dope. You know, those are great things to not be able to get hit. Who can't forget the awesome spell of Counterspell, or for our Muscle Mage, Shut Up!
Right, because everyone knows a real wizard punches their foes in the face. They don't cast wussy spells at them. We also have Enlarge, and Do You Even Lift, Bro?
Last, you know, on this one, we've got Jump, or, you know, you're set up for the ultimate Superman punch. And, you know, we got a little caveat, a little creme de la creme here. If you're going to go down this road and you're going to play this character for the long haul, then you are absolutely wanting to get to Tensor's Transformation so that you can be able to, you know, put that on there with Smite. You are going to be just punching a crud ton of damage.
Yeah, and that's another one where you definitely need to have a weapon in order to use it. So we need those brass knuckles. But when we do, we're going to be able to smite while we use Tensor's Transformation, which you usually can't cast spells. You're going to do an extra 2d10 force damage with your punch. You're going to get advantage to hit, and you're also going to get extra attack if you don't already have it. And kind of the builds that we're going with, you probably won't. So all in all, you could make a totally fun and somewhat effective Muscle Mage, I feel like, in 5e D&D. Granted, it's never going to be super optimized because, let's face it, if you're a wizard and you're punching things, something has gone horribly wrong to begin with. But I think we could have a lot of fun with this.
Well, you know, you've got the ability to make this kind of character that doesn't rely on, you know, a high intelligence. So you could have that. Hey, well, I studied and I know a little bit, but I'm using this magic to enhance my physical superiority. You know, so you can have a lot of fun with it, and you know, as long as you're not, you know, unenamored by the concept, you know, then you can keep going and have fun. And I think that, you know, the people at the table will enjoy as you scale up and keep doing these, you know, very fun antics.
Yeah, I'm sure they're going to appreciate it. Hey, if you enjoyed this video, you might want to check out another one, our unkillable D&D 5e character build.
And if you want gaming material for DMs and players alike, you might want to support us over on Patreon.
But that's not all. We do weekly live chats for our patrons and monthly giveaways that our patrons are automatically entered in, and more.
So until next time,
Stay nerdy.
stay nerdy.